Welcome to the Hope Sports Podcast, where we believe the best way for you to unlock your full potential is by living into your purpose. We believe discovering your purpose is the only way for you to live a meaningful life. I'm your host, Olympic gold medalist Laura Wilkinson. Each week, I have the privilege of connecting with a different elite athlete to discuss how they win big in and out of their sport. We want you to compete better and live into your purpose, so stick around to hear about an amazing opportunity that we have for you. But first, we're going to dig into today's episode. We're so excited to have Jamaican bobsledder Winston Watts on with us this week. Winston is a 4-time Olympian who embodies the larger-than-life, full of sunshine persona that we all know and love from the film Cool Runnings. He brings joy and happiness to everyone around him, both on and off the track. And today, Winston shares about his journey to a sport that left him freezing, terrified, and ready to quit just one weekend. I know you're going to enjoy his amazing story, so let's dive on in. All right, Winston Watts, we are so excited to have you on the Hope Sports Podcast with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, I have got to know you're from Jamaica and you're a bobsledder. So how exactly did you find your sport and what made you fall in love with it?
That doesn't match me from the tropical 96 degrees in the shade, and then I'm here freezing my Rastafari's mayonnaise off. It's all started from the military. Most of those guys were military guys. I am from the military, and as a champion athlete in the military, very determined athlete. An ex-teammate of mine, Jerome Lewis, approaches me one day. I was working out in the gymnasium on the military base, and introduced himself plus the sports to me. I didn't know anything about the sports. I said, "Man, you crazy. We do sports like this?" And he said, "Yes." So they have a physical trials, and that's where it happens.
Was it just one tryout? I mean, like, how long? Yeah, explain that. Like, how exactly did you try out and then make this Olympic team?
The physical trials that they have, which is they're looking for very explosive guys, very determined guys who's not going to quit on you because you're going to do a sport that is unusual for Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to take up that challenge. I came out on top that day. I think I came second on the trials. And I made a team since the 13th of August, 1993.
Wow. So, I mean, did you enjoy it, or were you like, what am I doing?
Apparently, at first, no. There's no one going to enjoy bobsled. Bobsled is just like a roller coaster. You go to, the Disney and on those rides. It's very, very bad. My first week, I told him I want to go home back because this sport is not for me because of the G-forces that throw your bodies all over the inside the sled.
Mm-hmm.
The cold. We didn't have clothing at that time to cope with the cold. So it's like a couple of obstacles that makes me want to go home back. Plus, think about the weather back home in Jamaica. And I said, I don't think so, man. But I'm not a quitter, I just lay low a little bit, didn't do any sliding, just keep lifting weights, refreshing my memory about the heights. And then I decided I'm just going to go for it. Whatever happened, just happened.
Wow.
And I'm happy that I did change my mind.
Yeah. Well, because obviously it was brand new. I mean, most of us have seen the classic movie Cool Runnings, where we were kind of all introduced to the Jamaican bobsled team at was it Calgary Olympics in '88? Is that right?
Correct.
Was that, and so was that a big deal for you guys, or was that not a big deal? Like, how did that play a role in like what you knew about it?
They were showing you a couple of clips, just like the movie Cool Runnings. Mm-hmm. And I didn't take that so well either. because you landed on your head going 90 to 95 miles an hour, and it's just watching it is very, very scary. But doing the actual sport, it's not that scary.
Okay.
So you're kind of used to it after you do a couple of trips, and then the body start to get used to about the gravity force, and then you just have to get the fullest out of it. Whatever you put into as training, that's what you're gonna get out of the sport.
Where did you guys train at?
We do a lot of training in a small little town in the U.S. they call Evanston, Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
It's 7,800, like 26,000 feet above.
Wow.
So it's very high altitude, and we do a lot of training in Calgary, Alberta also. That's where the 88 Olympics was. But in Jamaica, the only thing we could have done in Jamaica is we build a skeleton like a sled. We push it to 30 meters, and we do a lot of track training and lifting weights. So basically, we only can simulate that pushing a sled to 30 meters, which is on wheels. But during actual sled, we have to fly to Calgary or Evanston, Wyoming.
Yeah. What was that very first trip down the track like?
Oh my God. Have you ever been down
Nope. I've just jumped off the 10-meter platform. No ice for me.
You do bungee jump?
No, the diving, platform diving. I'm not bungee jumped. I don't want to do that.
Oh my goodness. No, you can't get me going that 10-foot platform.
Well, I tell you what, if you jump off with me, I'll slide down with you. How's that sound?
I can do it.
Okay.
In my military training.
There you go. So back to your first ride down the track. What was that like?
That's an experience that you'll never ever forget. It's you want to puke. You want to stop halfway the ride down. You want to eject yourself out of that sled on the back. There's so much different things comes to your mind. Because one, you're not seeing where you're going. The only driver seeing where he's going, and your head is down, waiting for the sled to stop somehow, somewhat.
Oh my goodness.
When I get to the bottom of the track, I could not unbuckle my helmet. I could not hold that little thin strap and fish it back through the way I pull it. I could not do that. The driver has to help me to unbuckle my helmet. I could not stand up. I had to sit on the side of the track. Oh, that's where I said, this sports is not for me. I think I should go home to play soccer again. It's either I break my leg or break my arm or something, but I don't know about this sports. So they try to convince me about it doesn't feel like this all the time because this is my first time. My body doesn't know anything about these curves, these G-forces. It's like 14 curves, 14 different angles, 14 different pressure. And it finishes before a minute like that. And it is something that it's so hard to tell you the way you feel. It's for you as a person, as an individual, to go sit in that set and get that feelings.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be hard for you to tell someone that feeling.
Yeah, you're painting a pretty good picture, though. I'll just let you know that. Have you had some bad crashes?
I got some bad crashes, yes. But I just get up and get to the top of the hill and go faster.
Oh, wow.
I do. I crashed from, it's 19 curves. I crashed from curve 2 on one of the worst track in the world, Lake Placid. Curve 2.
So I mean, do you fall all the way down? Like what happens?
I just lay in the sled and wait until it stops
Oh,
to the bottom of the course. That wasn't nice. It
how do you,
was,
yeah.
go ahead.
How do you not let fear stop you from getting back up there?
You think about it. You're in the military. You come under fire.
Hmm.
And you hear all of these warhead passing over your head, whistling. Are you going to give up?
No.
No, exactly. You're going to do everything in your powers to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did.
Well, okay, switching gears a little bit. Who has been the most important relationship in your life?
Right now, my family
Mm-hmm.
is one of the biggest thing in my life right now. That's why I step away from doing bobsledding since 2014. I could have continued,
Mm-hmm.
but as you see, I'm in great shape the same way. I haven't lost anything, great health,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no young guy out there still look like me. And I still train as hard as everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But family is something that the older you get and the more you stay away from them, you cannot make up that time back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was younger and I did have my kids before, I used to be away from them many, many months, many years. And that kills me. It's so hard for me to make it up back with them
Mm-hmm.
at this time, so that's my main thing right now, to
That's
enjoy
good.
life,
That,
enjoy the world.
that's perfect. I love it. Okay, well, I have to ask you, we're asking some big questions here. What has been the lowest point for you in your sport? Like, what was the lowest moment that you experienced in bobsledding?
Jamaica bobsled team is the most popular team in the world. Of course, when we've been to the Olympic, everyone at the Olympics, they don't care about Russia, Germany, Switzerland, not even the Americans much. They just want to hear about the Jamaica bobsled team because they know that we're the friendliest guy, the loving, caring, the sweetheart. But yet still, we are the most poorest team in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That is my lowest ever. And we can't barely survive. Barely survive with 6 people for the whole entire season because we have no money.
Mm-hmm.
Remember at first I told you when I just got to Calgary, Canada, first seen snow, we didn't have the gears and all of these. We didn't have nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
We have dress pants, all these. People offer us clothing, things like that, and this is what kills me all over these years. Back to back. Luckily, 2014, 2010, when I decided I want to get out of retirement and went to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned to the world seeking for help. And like a snap of a finger, in 48 hours, I gained more money, more than what I was asking for.
Wow. At Hope Sports, we know that you want sport to be fun, but in order to do that, you need to compete with freedom. The problem is, you believe that everything hinges on your score, performance, or medal count. But we believe that athletes should be able to experience joy regardless of their win-loss record. Because sport is more about the process of who you're becoming than the end result. We understand what it's like when the pressure to perform exceeds the passion for the game, which is why hundreds of athletes rediscovered their love for the game with Hope Sports. We have a workshop coming up November 15th through 17th in San Diego, California, and you do not want to miss it. It's so easy to get involved. Go to hopesports.org, sign up for the November workshop, and win like never before. So sign up today and come figure out what you've been missing. It could be the key you need to find success in your career. How did you guys get the word out there to be able to collect that money so quickly from around the world?
My charmed.
I love it.
Definitely. We didn't 3 Olympics we dropped from 2006, 10, and we didn't showed up because of sponsors. We guys that couldn't get to qualified, and so when I decided to get out of retirement, 2010, I called up the president of the Jamaica bobsled team, which is Christian Stokes. Told him that I want another shot at the Olympics. And because Jamaica had never qualified since the 2002 games.
Mm-hmm.
That was me.
Yeah, just for a clarifying point for the people listening, you can't, not every country just gets a team. You have to actually qualify from other competitions to make it into the Olympics as a country,
Correct.
right? Mm-hmm.
Correct. You got 4 years apart. You gotta be on so many tracks, different tracks for 4 years, and to gain so many points over the 4-year period. Mm-hmm. If you didn't get that amount of points, then you are not going to be selected. During that time, when I asked the president to give me another shot, and he said, well, Winston, we do have a problem. And I said, shoot it. We don't have the athlete. We don't have no funding. We have no sled. We have nothing. So if you can make it happen, go for it. And first and foremost, a couple of guys that was on the team before I started call up. I was still here in the U.S., calling them back over in Jamaica. None of these guys have visas or anything to fly. So I had to ask for letters, the president to do up a letter for me, submit it to the embassy back home. I borrowed a sled in Park City. The sled wasn't worth competing in, of course. So I decided I'm going to call up the German team. Those guys are a pretty good friend of mine. And I was asking for help. They got a thing they call Help a Nation or Adopt a Nation. Mm-hmm. So I tried to see if the German team, which is those guys got money, they got equipment. So I think those are the best guys to call them up. So when I called him up, Christoph Langen, which was the 5-time Olympic gold medalist, he says, Scheisse, Winston, you know that mean. What is it now? And he said, and I said, Langen, I'm looking to help. He said, what is it? Can you guys adopt me? The Jamaica bobsled team. It's only 3 of us. He said, 9. Mean no. Mm-hmm. And he said he had two different teams that he adopted already. 3 would be too much for him. So he's still gonna help me with equipment. So he went to his manufacturer, donate 2 sleds to me, get a shipping company to ship the sled to Calgary for me. 2 sleds.
Wow.
That is $350,000.
Wow. That's very generous.
Oh, it couldn't be too generous more.
Wow.
I was excited, and that's where we started. I never stopped until the last 2.5, 3 weeks after I'd done all the races, Lake Placid, Calgary, Park City. I just do a run over to Germany back just to get all the tracks in 2 years. Mm-hmm. We all were waiting on the last guys I'm over in Europe to finish their races to see who is qualified.
Oh, it was really close.
It was very close. And yeah. So 2 weeks we're waiting on, 2 weeks to wait on that. And then the weekend, on like the Friday, I got a phone call. And I said, hello, who's this? I'm calling from Russia. Who?
My eyes are like, how can I help you? This is Winston Watt. Yes. The president asked me to call you guys. And I say, President who? President Putin. So one of the representatives in the House called me, give me the information stating that I am qualified for the Russia Olympics.
Wow.
And I said, no way, you guys are joking.
Wow.
Like that. And I went home and I said to the guys, they said we're qualified, but I think I'm going to send you guys back to Jamaica because I didn't have any more money. I was out of cash, no more.
Mm-hmm.
NBC New York did a segment with us in New York. And the producer, her name is Kim. I'm a very sweet guy. I said to Kim, I would love to get your personal number. Kim said, no, you can't do that. And I said, please, maybe this will help me someday. She did. So the next day, I said to myself, I think I should call Kim and ask her to do a favor. And I did call her really early morning, like 6 o'clock our time. No, like 5 o'clock our time. It's like 7 o'clock New York time. And I said, Kim, I have a big favor for you to do for me. She said, you want me to walk to Evanston for you, Winston? And I said, no. I got a call yesterday that I'm qualified for the Olympics, but I was about to send the guys back to Jamaica. I have no more money left. Kim said, how much money do you need to get to Russia? And I said, $80,000. That to put us away where we can ship the sled and the athlete would be very good with, returning back home to their family, to taking care of those athletes. And Kim said, okay, Winston, I got this for you. Not even half an hour, she put it on the air.
Wow.
She put it on the air. This is with Kim with Lester Colt.
Mm-hmm.
She put it on the air. That's NBC New York, pick it up. NBC Cali, pick it up. NBC everywhere else, pick it up. Then CNN, pick it up.
Wow.
And it reaches all the way down to Abu Dhabi.
So literally the whole world.
The whole entire world. To all over the world, they donate a lot of money, end up getting $120,000.
Wow. That's amazing. That had to be so surreal, like just watching it come in like that.
And we went to Russia. On our way to Russia, a lot of things started to go south. First, we got a flight delayed in Salt Lake City. Secondly, when we landed in New York, there was a snowstorm. We had to circle like 45 minutes to an hour in the air. Decided we have to land in Philadelphia. Landed in Philadelphia, refuel. By the time we get back to JFK, our flight had already left 2 hours ago. So we decided, well, we got to catch different flight. I had to get to Russia to do pre-training on the track. I've never been on the track. When we showed up in Russia, our luggage can't be found.
Of course not.
Nothing. Our equipment for the sled, nothing we can find.
Oh my goodness.
We missed training like 2 days. We missed training. No clothing. So I said, no, this is Olympic Village. I can get clothing from everyone here. Everyone loves me. So I go around, get clothing for the guys then. And I was against the odds. I only get 2 runs on the track before the Olympics started.
Wow.
And, but, I'm like a piece of sponge.
Mm-hmm.
I soak up stuff like pretty fast. And one of the best athletes in the world, Holcomb. Holcomb is a guy who I turned to and asked for help. Said, Holcomb, how do you do this on the track? How do you do this on the track? And he started to tell me. And I went out there and tried it. And apparently it happened. I never crashed.
Wow. I love your story. I love that your story isn't just your story. It's like the whole world. I mean, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, right? But it took the whole world to get the Jamaican bobsled team to Sochi, you know? I love it. I mean,
Definitely.
that's real. That's going to be so memorable, you know, on a whole different level than just going to the Olympics. I mean, you already been there 3 times. You know, this was a whole other level. Yes, fourth time, 4 times a charm.
4 times.
So you have been through a lot. In what ways has all of these adventures developed your character?
Make me be a stronger person, make me be a more dedicated person, make me be a more loving person also. You gotta have love for everyone throughout this world. If you don't have love, it's like you're nothing.
Mm.
There's no one gonna like you. There's no one gonna want to help you or anything like that. You just gotta be very sweet to doesn't matter what nation, what races it is. You gotta be one person to all of them.
Mm.
You know, that's my main thing.
I love it. I love it. Who has been your biggest mentor in your life?
What should I say? The same German guy, Christopher Langen. It's not just one person. Christopher Langen was the driver of the German team. Pierre Ludas, these guys are 2, 3 times gold medalists. The pilot for the Canada team. Nevertheless, coach Trond Knaplund from Norway. That guy brought us to one of the best team in the world. And before the 2002 games, that guy let us break numerous track over the world record.
Mm-hmm.
Up until today, I think I still do have the track record for Park City.
Oh, cool.
From the 2002 games, 4.78 seconds. We used to be the fastest team on ice. And Trun brought us to that level, which that name never ever can forget.
I love it. What has been your biggest fear or insecurity?
Nothing.
Except when you first went down the track, right?
Exactly. No, I have no fear.
How come?
Reason, because of the experience that I gathered throughout my life. I just have to live each moment, each time, each day goes by and be happy. The best thing is to be happy and have God within your life.
Love it. Do you feel like your sport has helped you develop purpose?
Very much.
Like in what way?
At first, of course, yes. I've never been to college back home in Jamaica. I only stopped at high school. So this helped me to give me a wider knowledge, more educated, more strength, and to be more respectful to each and every one. Is because you face so many different things out there, and it helps you to know how to control yourself.
What advice would you give to an up and coming athlete?
First and foremost, train hard. There's nothing come easy. You have to stay away from enhancement. Anything gonna be enhanced to your body, it's only gonna last for a time. You will get caught. It just deteriorates in your body. You won't last forever. Be natural, train hard. Whatever you put into your training, that's what you'll receive during competition.
Great advice. Now, if you look back at your whole life, sorry.
No, go.
If you were to look back at your whole life from this point, what do you want to be remembered for?
The goodness that I do for my country. What a great athlete I was. I take pride in whatever I do. I'm dedicated. I put everything together that they can say, I am even up until a world-class athlete.
Love it. Yes. Hands raised in victory. I love it.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, follow you, like online, keep up with all your adventures? Hopefully, if there are more movies and shows in the future and things like that, where can we keep up with you?
I got a Facebook, which is Winston Watts, and I'm very easy to find. If you can remember Winston Watts, just Google that name. My life story is right there.
I just want to quickly talk about, too, because we did get to meet on a home build about, gosh, was it 4 years ago now, with Hope Sports. Like, tell us about your experience building a house for that sweet family in Mexico.
Wow. I was waiting. I was waiting more. I can't wait to go on that adventurous again. I love building house. I love to give back. This is one of the way I want to give back to people in this world. Of course, I'm from a poor family, and this is me, which to give my sweat back to these people. It's amazing, and I was so happy that Hope Sports invited me down there, and I can't wait for them to invite me again. More 1, 2, 3, 4 more times, and I'm up for it. For the challenge.
That's awesome. Well, I remember after, like, during the whole week, because it's a weekend where you build a home for this family who needs one. And during that time, we got to take the family shopping. You and I were on the shopping trip together. Oh. Everybody pitches in. We all brought some cash that we could donate to the family to help them buy groceries, fresh food. It's not something they get to do. And let me tell you, Winston was such a character in the grocery store. Like, they were saying, no, we don't need this. And he's like putting it in their cart. Oh yeah, you're going to get this. Whatever the difference is, I'm going to make it up. And it was so fun. Watching you shop with them was probably one of the highlights of my weekend.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I'm a great shopper.
Yes, you are.
I am. I'm like the shopper for my family. Whenever I travel, I can shop for everyone. I'm a good household husband, if you put it that way. Yes. For instance, if you said, okay, can you go get this? Perfect. You don't have to write a list for me. I know exactly what the house needs, and I'll go get it. Doesn't matter where, I'll just go find it.
Yes, and then a few extra things too, I'm sure.
Of course. Then you're gonna say, why you bring this? We're not gonna need it. Yeah, we're gonna need it sometime.
Oh, I love it.
But I can't wait. This summer coming, I can't wait for Hope Sport to contact me and to invite me down again so that we can build more houses. Hey, I got lots of muscle here, so call me.
Jump on a build with Winston. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. What was amazed me, before I went down there, I asked about the family. I heard that there's 2 smaller kids. And at that time, I did have a small son, but he was growing out all his shoes and stuff like that. So what I did, I didn't bring much clothes for myself. I stuffed all of those in a bag because we heard that you can't bring clothes across the border to give this family. And I said, man, I'm going to do all of that.
Of course you are.
Yeah. And I just packed that bag and all those shoes. You remember that shoes was in the bedroom? Yes. All those shoes and clothing, I was the one who brought them.
I love it. You break all the rules in the best possible way. It's awesome.
Yeah, of course I am going to.
I love it. Winston, thank you so much for joining us today. You are a treat and a pleasure and just full of so much love and giving. You're such a joy. Thank you.
And thank you, Laura. Thanks to interview me.
It was so fun chatting with Winston. I loved getting to know him on our Hope Sports build and getting to see firsthand how his personality just brings people together. And nothing is more evident of this than raising all of the money for his team to make it to the Olympics in Sochi. I love how it was this worldwide effort to get this deserving team to the games and how everyone looks forward to cheering them on as they defy all odds. I'm your host, Laura Wilkinson. Thanks for tuning in for today's show. We'll see you again next week. This podcast is produced by Evo Terra and Simpler Media. For more information on Hope Sports and to access the complete archives, please visit hopesports.org.